You've heard all the buzz about generative AI, right? Well, it's not just another new tool on the block. It is fundamentally reshaping the entire professional world as we know it. And this huge shift, it means we need a totally new kind of leader, someone who can actually steer the ship through these new waters with real confidence and a clear vision. And look, this quote from Karim Lakhani at Harvard Business School just hits the nail on the head. He's totally right. The whole conversation has changed. It's not about us versus the machines anymore. Not at all. It's all about empowering people with this tech. That's the game changer.
All right, let's dive right in. Section 1, AI's Workplace Revolution. And I want to be super clear here. This isn't some sci-fi movie set in 2050. This is happening right here, right now.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The numbers are screaming it. A whopping 62% of employers, that's nearly 2/3, now expect their people to know at least something about AI. Think about that. This isn't just for the tech gurus anymore. It's becoming a basic skill, like knowing how to use email or a spreadsheet. So, you can see why being able to really use AI gives companies a massive edge. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Success isn't about just buying the fanciest new software. Nope. It's about having leaders who know how to weave these tools into the fabric of their teams to really boost creativity and get things done smarter. And that leads us perfectly into our next section, the new leadership mandate. Because, this goes way beyond just learning how to use a new program. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how you think. So let's break down the difference, because it's huge. In the old days, right, new tech was just an IT problem. Here, install this. But AI-first leadership? That's a completely different ballgame. It's a full-on strategic business transformation. It's about rethinking, from the ground up, how people and AI can work together. So who's on the front lines of making this happen? You might be surprised. It's the mid-level leaders. They are absolutely crucial. They're the ones who act as the bridge, taking that big-picture strategy from the top and turning it into actual actionable tasks for their teams. They drive it, they teach it, and maybe most importantly, they build the trust that makes everyone want to get on board.
Okay, Section 3. Let's get practical. Let's talk about your AI Leader Toolkit. What stuff do you actually need to have in your back pocket? Well, it all starts with understanding a few of the core ideas that are powering this whole thing.
First thing you got to know about is something called a foundation model. This is basically the engine, or maybe even the brain, behind all of generative AI. Just imagine a giant AI model that's been trained on, well, a mind-boggling amount of diverse data. It's this massive training that makes it so flexible and able to tackle all sorts of different tasks. And then, as a type of foundation model, you've got large language models. You've probably seen the acronym LLM. These are the specialists. They're foundation models that are specifically trained to be experts in, you guessed it, human language. They're the magic behind why you can have a conversation with an AI and it actually sounds, well, human.
Okay, so how does this all fit together? It's kind of like a set of nesting dolls. The biggest doll is artificial intelligence. That's the whole field. Inside that, you have machine learning, which is all about systems that learn from data. And then, a really exciting part of machine learning is generative AI, the part that's all about creating brand new things, not just analyzing what's already there.
So the big question is, how do you actually become an AI-first leader? It's not an overnight thing. This AI maturity model gives us a really clear roadmap. It's a 4-step journey. You start by getting the basics down. Then you work on shifting your mindset to be AI first. After that, you build the practical skills to actually manage AI projects. And finally, you reach the top, leading with total confidence, using AI to think strategically and see around corners.
All right, on to our next section, strategy, safety, and success. Because knowing all the buzzwords is great. But what really separates a true leader is knowing how to apply this stuff responsibly and effectively.
Now, we have to talk about one of the biggest gotchas with AI right now, something called hallucinations. This is a huge deal. It's when an AI model just makes stuff up. It gives you an answer that sounds super confident and plausible, but it's completely wrong or based on nothing. And you can imagine for a business, that's a massive, massive risk. So how on earth do we fix that? Well, there's a really smart technique called grounding, and one of the most common ways to do it is with something called RAG. Instead of letting the AI just answer from memory, you force it to look up the answer in a specific, trusted set of documents first. That way, its answers are grounded in fact, not fiction.
And of course, a solid AI strategy has to be a responsible one. It's non-negotiable. Frameworks like Google's AI principles are so important because they act as a North Star for leaders. They're there to make sure that what we're building is actually good for people, that it's safe, and that it's always accountable to us.
Okay, which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Get certified, lead confidently. We've talked about why this is happening, what you need to know, and how to do it safely. Now it's about putting a stamp on that knowledge.
And that's where the Google Cloud Generative AI Leader certification comes in. What's really cool about this is that it's the first of its kind. It was built from the ground up for business professionals, not just coders or data scientists. You don't have to be a tech wizard to prove you get the strategy behind AI.
So what's actually on the test? As you can see, it's a really good mix. You've got the fundamentals, you'll learn about Google Cloud's specific tools, some key techniques to get better results, and, super important, the business strategy side of things. It's all about making sure you have practical, well-rounded knowledge you can actually use.
And look, the payoff is real. We're talking tangible career benefits here. People who get certified report they're way more productive and that their ability to innovate goes through the roof. But get this, nearly 80% say it helped them get promoted faster. That's not just a nice to have, that's a serious career accelerator.
So it really all comes down to this one question. AI is reshaping our world, period. The only choice you have to make is this. Are you going to be a spectator, just watching it all happen? Or are you going to be a leader who steps onto the field and actually shapes what comes next?